All right, we should be going. I'm going to be putting up a link and stuff for the debate after show here on Facebook page, and we'll give it a few minutes, see if anybody wants to come in and talk. And wow, that's different. Okay, let's see if that works. Hopefully, it should work fine. And yep, we're going. Got nobody watching right now. So I put it up that some people might want to do that. So there we go. And we'll see if anybody comes in and we can blab for a little bit, half hour maybe, and then I'll bail. So, excuse me. So I got to stall a little bit because nobody's in yet. All right, comments. Okay. Okay, you're in. Oh, you guys are in the. Let's see if you guys get into the StreamYard. I should be seeing the comments inside of StreamYard, but I don't see them. So that way it makes it a lot easier for me to. There to go. Humboldt Clay says, "Good job, Matt. Thank you." Michael Holt, you're in. Michael Holt, we can wait. Good. If you guys want, there's the information there again. You can check it out. You can participate by coming in here to StreamYard, and if you got a camera, you don't need one, or a mic, you'll will to communicate. Then we can have a little discussion, tell me what you guys thought. So no big deal, just for a little bit. I like to do after shows a lot of times, but it's too late and stuff like that. So no big deal. Okay, let's see. Okay. Come on, you all got 6 people watching. You gonna say anything? You gonna come into the room here and talk? Okay, I'll put it in again because sometimes people come in, they don't see it. There you go. Let's see, I'm gonna say something here. I was in a debate, I just got off, but I'm in an after show period. Did we need to talk about something? Okay, one of the board of directors guys. Bill cannot from Facebook. You cannot be in Facebook. So what do you guys think? I think the problem is the definitions. I agree with a lot of what he says, but I think he is unnecessarily restricting the idea of free will based on the word free and then defining free in a particular way, and that's the problem. And then said, therefore, it doesn't work. Well, it doesn't mean his justification for his definition of free will is the correct one. And I brought that up in the discussion, but so we'll see. Let's see if anybody else makes any comments here. I could go into, yeah, there we go. We've got a few people watching, 8 watching. Hey, feel free to come in the room. If not, no big deal. I can blab for just a few more minutes then before I bail. Okay. Come on, type something out. Or come in here. I think the thing with Jesus and compatibilism, I think that threw him. I really do. Yeah, I've only seen a few minutes of his debate and on the free will issue, and I thought that he's a bit obstreperous. But when he said to me, "Have you read your article?" Come on, I didn't think that was called for. So, nevertheless, I've certainly said things similarly. Trying to work on it. I'm trying to be, a lot more genteel, and or my wife would say gentil in French. I mean, something like be nice or easy or something like easy. Gentil. I don't know any French except I know about 10 things. That's it. Okay. Is the adjective free necessary in defining human will? I wanted to get into all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of different directions we could have gone, but you'll notice what happened at the end, and this is an issue. I think. It's like someone would ask me a question, and I'd say yes, and Sonny would go on for 5 minutes, and so it's like, okay, we could discuss this issue, but because he likes to go off so far, I decided I didn't want to do some of those. I wanted to stick with some main stuff and get in. But even though it had been a good direction to go in, that's just that's my opinion, my view on stuff. Okay, held myself without getting angry really well. Thank you, appreciate that, Matt. Yeah. Oh, Yowza, huh? Come on in, Matt. Come on into the chat. We can blab. Matt's a pretty good philosopher guy. He knows his stuff. Did you watch the whole thing, Matt? Or enough? Great charity reverend. Thank you. Okay. And I'll put the link stuff back in here. If anybody wants to come in to here, let me do this first. Okay, we got that. If anybody wants to come on into just to here to the StreamYard, you can. And there's the link right there. Get some feedback. We'll talk for a few minutes and then bail because I have some ice cream. I shouldn't be having ice cream late at night, but sometimes I just crave chocolate ice cream. No devices connected. Bill, there you go. You're added to the stream. Bill, go ahead, say something.
Hey, Matt, can you hear me?
No devices connected. Bill, there you go. You're added to the stream. Bill, go ahead, say something. I don't hear anything.
Can you hear me?
Also, let's see. If the will is not self-determined, then where's the freedom? These are some of the questions. I have a list of questions, and that's there. If you don't have the free will generated out of yourself, then where does the decision and the action come from? If he says it's from God that it comes from, then how is it free? How is it part of us? And how are we culpable? See, these are the ramifications. There are all kinds of questions I had ready to ask, but it became evident to me that the issue is definitions. Definitions are the issues. And we just got sidetracked, not sidetracked, but roadblocked. And I thought that I was pretty clear that we need definitions to be clear to the debate properly. You can hear Bill?
Can you hear me?
Okay, maybe it's here. Let me try this. Here, say something, Bill.
Can you hear me?
Now I hear you. Hold on. You know what? I can hear you here. Let me try something else.
Testing. One.
Not this one. This is the new one because the battery was going. So let me hold on a sec. I'm going to check another setting, which should not be the case. And let's go to. There we go. Jabra. Okay, now say something. See if I can hear you.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Now I hear you. Okay. All right. That was on my end. So what'd you think?
I thought you did an awesome job.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. And again, I think the free will thing with Jesus, I think that threw him.
I've seen Sonny in several debates, and I hate to say it, but he disappoints in every debate I've seen.
Well, let me tell you, I know what he's saying, and I agree with a lot of what he's saying. And he understands the issues pretty well. But I think the problem is with this issue, in this discussion we had here, the issue is with the word free as he defines it, which seems to be meaning to him that it is independent of God. And that's not what I would say. But
right.
Yeah, so I think we were speaking past each other. Hey, Matt Yester, I can hear you.
Hey, what's up, Matt?
Oh, I don't know, man. I just finished a debate. What were you doing?
Watching and chatting.
Did you just see the whole thing?
I was debating as well in text chat, yeah.
Oh, good. Good. Yeah.
There's a mixture of people in there, so people disagree with both of you, of course.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. Well, Skylar jumped in a little bit as well.
Yeah, Skylar needs to pay attention to the debate, a lot of what's said, and see if he can sift through some of the issues and learn the issues of God's decrees better. Yeah.
Sure. No, I told him that. He
Yeah,
sent
I've
works
told
to actually study before his engagement with you, and I don't think he read them. He didn't show
Yeah.
any knowledge of it. So
Yeah, he did. I don't believe he did.
Yeah.
I was easier on him the third one, and if he wants to debate again, we can.
Yeah. I knew something was going to come on strong because of his perspective, and it was just a flattening out. What the anti-Calvinists do is what the hyper-Calvinists do, and it's really just saying, okay, if you're just saying that his only nitpicking was as if you were asserting that they're free from God, but you already nipped that one in the bud. That's not what you were saying. We're just
Yeah.
talking about the compatibility, the logical compatibility of God's sovereignty and man's free will, that they're logically compatible. There's a metaphysical mystery of how that happens, because he wasn't laying out the metaphysical layout here, other than, oh, God's the primary cause. As if that just answers everything, right? I mean, it's not really nuanced. It's merely he just stipulates that answer as if that solves the problem. It's like
It
he's
doesn't.
not answering the philosophical, metaphysical issues because he's not breaking down the mechanism, which no one can identify, of how God can foreordain that we choose things freely, namely one uncoerced, which he even affirmed.
Right. Who's on the background there?
Kevin?
Oh, it was Bill. No,
Yeah,
it's
it's
you,
Bill.
Matt. Oh, it is Bill?
No,
Okay.
it's Bill. Yeah, he just muted it.
I just added somebody and they dropped right out. Come on back in.
Yeah, it's
But
not
yeah,
really
but what do you think? I think the issue of Christ compatibilism, free will issue, I think that really stumped him.
right. Yeah, we're talking about two different ontologies, of course, but we're dealing with God's sovereignty, yet human volition. Now he's at least trying to wants to affirm. Oh yeah, they make choices and everything. Okay, so that's human volition. That is a human will, right? Okay, that's not God's will.
Well, let me ask you, did you clue in earlier than I did that the issue came with the word free, and how he's defining it seems to be the issue of independence from God?
Right. That's exactly
That's what
I
it
just
seemed
brought
to
up
be.
before. Mm-hmm. That's
Which
the only thing he was
took
nitpicking on earlier. Yeah,
it took forever for me to get that out of him. If he'd only said that earlier, I said, well, that's not my position. That's not the definition I use. What's your definition? Well, why is your definition the right one? Because I would agree with you. I'd say we'd have to come up with a third definition, a third term.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Hey, Kevin, how are you, buddy?
Hey, man. Good, man. Good to hear you guys.
Good.
Hey, Kevin.
I just hopped in. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what topic you guys are on. So give me a minute to listen to you guys.
Oh, this is an after show for the debate I was just in with a guy. Yeah, discussing do we have free will, basically. Even though the debate topic was, does the Bible teach free will? Yes. Yes, it does.
He would definitely
God has free
affirm
will.
that because John 6:37, he affirmed the Father has free will. He chose a people.
Yeah, he did.
Done.
Yeah.
So it basically ended up into what? How do you define the term? Basically. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And now it seems so simple to say, oh, what he means by free will is independent of God. That's not what
or creatures. Yeah.
And then he kept going back to, well, yeah, but then Jesus' human nature is creaturely.
Mm-hmm.
And it's within God's sovereign decrees, and it works. That threw him. It did. Let's see. If free will isn't universally defined the same, it is ambiguous word of no use. I totally agree, Michael. That's why we had such trouble. And I don't want anybody to think I was just trying to stall. I was not. I was trying to get to what does he mean by it? And I had to define it for him and say, is this what you mean? He goes, yeah.
A good philosopher
that should be like
distinguishes between categories. And he was just going, no, it's all one category. Yeah, that's it.
Right. That should be like the premise of every single.
If we don't have free will, we're just puppets on a string.
Yeah, but he wouldn't. I don't think he would say we're puppets. But then we have to get into, what do you mean we don't have free will? But he'll say we have will. It's not free. But I agree we have will, but it's not independent of God. I agree. And I kept saying to him, free will is the ability to act in a manner consistent with our own nature that is not forced. That includes God and man.
And agree with that.
And he did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then what's the problem?
I know.
Yeah. Right.
He misinterpreted how you were using the term free in your definition. He thought, oh, well, he has to nail everything down. Pelagians, libertarianism, and compatibilism say it's either the strict divine determinism you want to lay out. Now, we affirm the Bible teaches theological determinism. God is sovereign over all things.
Yep.
Psalm 33.
But
When man's will
some
butts up
theological
against God's
determinism
will, God wins.
it denies libertarian as well as compatibilist free will. So you got to get into there and discuss that.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
And then it's defined, like, how do you define determinism? How do you define compatibilism? How do you define all these things?
There's different
And so
types
it
of
just,
determinism. There's different types of causation. There's different
Yeah.
types of
Yeah.
free. So
let me ask you,
Yep.
when I said, well, what do you mean by cause? You understood why I was asking the question. There's different kinds of senses in which the word cause can be understood. And he thought I guess he thought I was, trying not to be sincere.
He was very much on the defensive.
Yeah.
Later on, I think, once it started getting, you got to ferret out these definitions because you just use them so crassly without no distinctions. Because if you just say theological determinism, well, is that theological in the chemical sense? Like, I mean, God's in sovereign control of all the chemicals. You believe they're just like the atheists, believe in just strict chemical determinism? Because that's a different type of determinism. You can put that in a theological context within a pantheistic viewpoint, or if you aberrant the Bible and say, oh, well, I mean, just say I play devil's advocate here and go against them and just say, well, if I was one to assert strict chemical determinism from a theological viewpoint, how would he refute me? I just go, I'm using determinism a different way you are. So then he actually ascertains you can use determinism in different lights.
I think that anybody who debates him on this topic again would benefit greatly by our discussion that he and I had, because then it gets to the issue of what he means by free will. Then they're already way ahead in the discussion. It took probably at least half the debate for me to figure out what he meant. And that's what bothers me. And that's what I was worried about was happening. I told Marlon this in a private conversation. I told Sonny the same thing, in a chat text. We spent half the time just trying to figure out what you mean by this. And that's what happened. But that's just the nature of what it is. In this particular discussion, it requires some very detailed definitions.
that would be a good
The
debate.
connection on his part
What
didn't
is
help a whole lot.
Well, one at a time. Go ahead, Kevin.
Sorry. That would be a good debate in itself. What is free will? Like, I think that would be a proper debate before getting on to the debate. Do we have it? That we all can agree on this term meaning this, rather than we saying one thing and then do we have it? That we all can agree on this term meaning this, rather than saying one thing and then. Sorry about that if something happened there.
I don't know. You echoing yourself?
No, I don't have my phone speaker on or anything. I'm on Bluetooth
now.
Cool. All right. Yeah, what I said, defining what we like a debate that we can all agree on this term means this. So when we use the term free will, we are meaning the same exact thing. Because I'm a free will guy, a libertarian free will guy, and so I would say sovereignty, and I would define it in a different light, and it would probably end up agreeing with you guys, and you guys would end up agreeing with me. But the details, we would end up devouring each other. Like, well, it gets almost unedifying, sometimes. But it's fun to talk about this stuff when you can talk rather than get all frustrated and stuff.
Right. Definitions are the key. Definitions. Yep. Good. Okay, now what? Another 5 minutes, I'm going to bail, okay? Just so you guys know. So how many of you watched
that debate?
How many of you watched basically the whole thing?
Yeah, I did.
You did? Okay.
I can pretty much say how it went, without, seeing basically all the free will debates amongst us Christians, basically how they all go. And it was probably similar.
So you didn't see it?
No, I can't wait to get off here and go listen to it. I'm excited about that.
Okay, I hope you do. Good.
I will. What's the guy's name?
What's that?
What's the guy's name you were debating?
Sonny Hernandez.
Oh, okay, Sonny Hernandez. I know that. Okay, yeah, that is a pretty hard. Not hard as like a bad person, but hard determinist kind of.
Yeah,
feel.
if he's a hard determinist, that would be problematic. But he's a theological determinist, and then that needs to be defined too.
Right.
There's views within it, and that's why I'll say it again. I really tried to get the precise definition of what he meant by free will. I don't think he understood what he really was teaching. I had to extract it out of him. And if you watch the debate, you'll see, well, what do you mean? And he kept asking this question, but I still don't understand what you're getting at. I can't answer these questions until I get to what you mean by this down. And I think he got frustrated with me, but I wasn't trying to be difficult. I was just honestly trying to understand.
Because I don't think he's very versed in the philosophical understandings of it. I mean, because everything is philosophical, so it's not a bad word to say philosophical. So I hate it when people go, I'm meaning something bad by saying it's philosophical, but it's a real philosophical understanding with the determinism, the hard determinism, the compatibilist, the soft determinism. It's like, and I don't think he's well versed in that. I think he's more of a theologian, even though you have to be a good philosopher to be a good theologian at the same time, though.
Well, he's a theological determinist who denies libertarian and compatibilist free will of human beings. But Jesus obviously had compatibilist free will, and he was a human. So this is a problem. And the definition he was giving, I thought, was not sufficient so as to include God and man. He has different definitions. Well, what gives him the right to say there's different definitions? So I don't think he's ready for that.
Personal view. It was basically his personal view. Like, this is what I have figured out and I understand. And there's not really a team behind me that can explain the same way I do. So here's my personal view. Let me go debate it on YouTube and make. Yeah.
God is changing our free will at the moment of salvation. I would say, Tab, that what he does is he enables us to freely believe. That would be what we call irresistible grace, but that's another topic. But yeah, check it out, Kevin. See what you think.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right. I think I'm going to get going. Might as well. Remember the 6 letters? No, it's a 4-letter word. Context. Remember?
Context, student.
Yeah, I say context is a 4-letter word, and people get what I mean by it. Okay. My humor. What humor? Which one? which comment? Yeah. The new man that is born again starts then. Okay, that's right. All right. I think I could keep making comments, but all right, guys, I'm out of here. Okay. You guys have a good night. All right.
You too. Slick. Peace.
Okay. God bless.